No matter how good you are, you will lose if you don't have a team. I don't care if you're Jordan, Brady, or whoever. If you don't have a team, you are cooked, my boy.
No, 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 no. Wait. Wait.
But you are a lot better player than you think. So pick your head up, homie. But how? How do you find players with at least one brain cell and a pair of thumbs to save you from solo queue hell? Well, pull up a chair, because not only have I done it personally, I'm going to show you how to do it too. What it do, YouTube? It's your boy TimGoinWin with another Marvel Rivals banger. I am a Grandmaster on PS5, and my team/faction, the winners, we were top 64 in the world in the Marvel Rivals Championship for PlayStation 5. And we had an undefeated run in the tourney. And the crazy thing about it is, all of the people on my team and in faction were absolute randoms before this tournament. And I'm going to show you exactly how I found them. So in this video, I'm going to show you what you want to look for in players, how to find what you're looking for in their profiles, and exactly where to look to find new players. Before we get started, I just want to let y'all know I really appreciate all the love and support that you guys have been giving me on my channel, and continue to keep showing that love because it's going to help me elevate. So like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this with a friend if you could. So a couple of key things to keep noted before we get started. You have to put yourself out there. Even if you're shy or introverted or whatever it may be, what's the alternative? Because at the end of the day, if you don't go out there and find players to play with, you're going to be stuck solo queuing, which means that every single game you're going to have is going to be less than a 50-50 chance to win, regardless of your skill, because there's too many variables to account for. So if you want friends and people to play with, you have to put yourself out there. Number two, not everyone will want to be your friend, and that is okay. Not everyone will want to play with you. Not everyone is going to respond back to you. That is okay. It has nothing to do with you. It's just that some people, they don't really want to have new friends, or they don't want to group up, and they may just don't want to do it. Next, try to find people in a similar skill range to you. So if you're bronze, don't go looking for one above alls to try to play with. It may happen, but the likelihood ain't really that high. So I would really strongly advise for you to get people that's either at your rank, slightly below your rank, or slightly above your rank that you'll play with. It will just improve your chances of actually making these friends that we're talking about. Also, don't keep bad eggs in the friend group. So if somebody has a bad attitude or is being a jerk, then I wouldn't say keep them around. At the end of the day, that's just going to mess up the vibes for everybody involved, and you don't really want to actually do that, because that's going to break up your friend group and everything that you're trying to build. Be consistent with them and follow up with the friends that you're making. So make sure you're always talking to them or playing with them to make sure that you guys are building camaraderie and a familiarity. The less you play, the easier it is for you guys to just fall off and for them to dump you and move on. Last but not least, always be scouting and adding and recruiting. Even if you have somebody good, doesn't change the fact that you need to keep adding, just in case that those people that you play with aren't there. So always be scouting and always be recruiting. Now, these are some key things that every friend that you add should have. Make sure they share the same motivations and aspirations as you. So make sure that if you're a competitive player, you're playing with other competitive players. Make sure that if you want to just do ranked, then you're doing it with ranked people. And make sure that if you just want to chill and vibe and have fun and just relax and have people to play with, that they're playing with those people. Because the worst thing you can have is you actually trying to climb the ladder, and this person, they just want to have a good time and make some clips or something. It's just going to butt heads, and it's not going to be a good experience for any of you guys. Next is have a good attitude and be a good teammate. So if you're going to start getting friends, make sure that you're not the toxic person on the team, or the person that's always belittling somebody, or the person that has some type of smart ass comment. Like, nobody wants to hear that when you're playing. So don't be that person to other people. Once again, I know I had it in the last point, and it's going to come up again inside these videos, but be consistent with the people that you're adding. If you're not consistent, they're not going to be consistent with you, and they're going to move on and find other people to play with. So as soon as you start adding these people, make sure you put in work to start building that camaraderie, which leads me to my next point. Build chemistry. and that takes time and set expectations. So it's going to take time to build chemistry. Doesn't matter how great players you guys are, you're going to take losses. To gel well, it's going to take time. So make sure you set those expectations with them, like, hey, we may lose some games just trying to get a feel for each other, so let's play some quick play first or do something else. But it doesn't change the fact that you guys are great players. It just may take time for you guys to find your rhythm so that you guys can start winning. And the last thing, which is subjective, find great players. So obviously, if you want to win, you increase that chance by finding great players to play with. Now, what I will say is, even players that may only be okay or pretty good and not great, they have the potential to be better with a team and with coordinated teamwork. So don't write people off immediately just because you may not think that they're that good. A lot of people have potential to be great players, including you. Now, how to find good players. First and foremost, you want to start with your general friend group. Now, look through and skim through either your PlayStation friend list, Xbox playlist, or wherever you're playing the game, and see who also is playing Rivals. Then go to their profile and see if their ranks and stats match up to what you're looking for. Your general friend group is the closest thing to you and the easiest way to get people to play with. The next thing is players that you play with that have good games. So my thing is, whether I played with you and we won and you were balling out, I'm going to go look at your stats. I'm going to scout you to see if you're a player that I want to add and if I want you to be one of my friends. And then also, even if it was the losing team, I still even go and I add them and be like, GG, man, you played a hell of a game. You guys, really did your thing. And I add those people because those are great players that you can add onto your team. Next is the leaderboards. Now, this one is kind of tricky. It's a crapshoot, but you can look at the top 500 leaderboards to find other players that are really, 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 really good, and just take a shot and add them. You can send a little message or whatnot, but you're not going to get a lot of people on there. But me, myself, I've actually added one of the top players on PlayStation, which is Sleek QC, as a friend, simply from just adding him on the leaderboard. Apply for a random faction. Now, you can apply for a random faction. It's a crapshoot, and these guys may not be the best, or they may not be exactly what you're looking for, and it's kind of hard, but you can always apply for a random faction by just searching for it. So that's always an option to have. But better yet, I would always suggest starting your own faction. Now, if you start your own faction, you have a lot of different advantages, such as being the owner of the faction, and now it's strictly up to you to curate your friends list and your faction to your taste and liking. Now, the downside to this is you have to fill this faction up. However, you can guarantee, obviously, that you're playing with the players that are up to the caliber that you want them to be at. Social media groups is big. There's plenty of places on Facebook. That's where I find a lot of players to play with on Facebook. Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Discords, all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of different places on social media for people that are looking for people to play with. Here are some examples. Lastly, I would say upcoming and small streamers or YouTubers. So generally, if you're looking at a community and you see these other streamers or YouTubers or whatever it may be, they're obviously going to be looking for people to play with because they're taking this seriously. They're doing it a lot. So if you can get in good with a streamer or a YouTuber, then you could possibly not only drastically improve your chances of finding more people to play with because they see you play with that small streamer or YouTuber, but you're also knowing that you're playing with somebody that's pretty good because you obviously have a first-hand experience of seeing them. You obviously have a first-hand experience of seeing them play and know that they're good yourself. So I would start there as well. That's a good place to see too, because I'm sure they want more people to play with. So definitely reach out to them. How to scout. This is how you scout effectively. Make sure that you go to the player's profile. Make sure that you change it to either season 1, season 0. Look at their most played heroes that are played. Make sure these are some of the heroes that you like playing with, and if it's somebody that's worth playing with. Because if you don't like playing with Spider-Mans, don't add a great player that's a Spider-Man if you really don't want to play with them, or if that's all they're going to do and be one-tricking. Me personally, I look for people with a lot of versatility and a big Marvel Rivals bag, because if you got a lot of different characters in your bag, that's what I'm looking for, because that's going to make it easier for other people to play with you, because now you're not just stuck inside one specific role. Now, that's just me and my preference. Now, you could be wanting some actually specialized people, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then also the best way to scout is to play games with them, of course. So when you play games with these people that you add, or let's say you get somebody, evaluate how they take the tough battles, how they act in those situations, and how they act in losses. These are things that you need to scout with the mental part of the game, because the mental part of the game bleeds into the actual performance part of the game. So you don't want somebody that crumbles in every tough battle, or gets upset at every single loss and then rages and quits, or even that's being toxic in chat and talking to other people and starting stuff inside the chat against the other team, or even with your own teammates. Don't ever endorse toxicity. It's just not a good thing, unless you're toxic yourself, and then you motherfuckers deserve each other. What can I say? How to get them as friends? Add them. When you add them, make sure you add them either on your client, such as PSN, Xbox, or just a client server, and then also add them within rivals. Depending on where they add you, or depending on where they add you back at. If it's PlayStation, which is the platform I'm on, when I add them on PlayStation, I shoot them a message. I let them know who I am, what I'm trying to do as far as build a team, and then I let them know what we're trying to do. And then I put a picture here, and I show them my faction of what we've done. So pro tip, if you have a good resume, such as, let's say you have a high winning percentage, or you've been looking for a certain hero because you're a Rocket and you're looking for a Punisher, show a screenshot of that, and basically that will improve your chances of that person becoming a friend. And once you're able to add them, I would suggest starting a party and playing right then, right there, while the fire is hot. All right, lastly, a couple of bonus tips that would just help the quality of life of finding these friends and keeping these friends. Have a group chat or a place where you guys can communicate regularly. So for me, we have a group chat on PSN. It's strictly for us, and that's where we're sharing memes. That's where we're talking about when we're going to play. That's when all the team info. That's where we communicate there. Now for you, if it's not PlayStation, it can be on Xbox and whatever parties you guys have, or it could be on Discord if you're on the computer, or whatever. You might even be able to get each other's phone numbers, but have some place where you guys can communicate, so then you can coordinate when you guys are going to be playing. Next tip, be very positive and be the teammate that you would want. So be the teammate that you would want and have. Be the guy that's hyping people up. Be the guy that's positive and telling people that they're the shit when they're playing, man. Like, just be a good person, dog. Like, don't be a toxic asshole, because nobody wants to play with those people. So don't be that guy. Next is be flexible and receptive to change. So you may be a bomb DPS, but there may be another bomb DPS that you have or add, and you may have to switch to healer, or you may have to switch to Vanguard. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be receptive to that and listen when people are asking you. As long as it's not nasty or negative, then just be flexible. It would increase your chances of people to play with, because you're not just stuck on one thing. Unless you have a team that's willing to do that, by all means, if it works for you, then it works for you. Next, give them space to express themselves gameplay wise and communication wise. Listen, there's nothing worse than trying to tell somebody how to play and do them. So granted, you guys can have suggestions, especially with my team. I'm very expressive because I am a coach, so I give a lot of suggestions and gameplay feedback, but I leave that open to my friends and teammates on what we can do to actually counter and do different things too. So I'm not the only one saying something. I am a leader, but I'm not the only voice inside the room. And I always leave that space open, whether it be gameplay wise for who they want to play and who they feel most comfortable with, or even communication wise, just letting them know, hey, you can talk to me and let me know what we got to do to win the game, or if I'm messing up or whatever it might be. Like, always have that open door for communication, because once again, communication is key. And lastly, celebrate each other and their accomplishments. So if somebody popped off in a game, let them know that they popped off and they was absolutely wrecking shit. If they got top 500, congratulate them on their top 500. If they ranked up, congratulate them on their new rank. Being good and letting people know and having positive reinforcement to people's successes, that's going to boost you guys' camaraderie, and that's going to make you guys feel like even more of a team. And that's what you should be doing, because you should be happy for other people for moving up too. And then that creates a culture that they'll do the same thing for you. I just wanted to make this video to show you guys how to make friends and how I was able to build a team full of complete randoms and go undefeated inside an actual official Marvel Rivals tournament. And hopefully whatever your aspirations are, whether it be to just make friends and have a chill time, climb up inside the ranks, or even compete in tourneys. Hopefully this video helps you do that. Once again, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to this video. TimGoinWin, signing off.